President Trump's teleprompter operator is now under investigation by federal regulators for potential insider trading. Sources tell CNN that Gabriel Perez traded on Kalshi and the prediction site, then flagged those transactions as possible allegations of insider activity to authorities. The profits from those trades are more than $90,000. The money is now frozen. CNN has reached out to Perez for comment. Here with me in the Situation Room is CNN's senior reporter, Marshall Cohen. Marshall, what exactly was Perez trading on?
Well, if these are called mention markets, they are very popular on these prediction sites because you can bet on what people are going to say. The CEO at an earnings call, the broadcasters at this weekend's World Cup final, and of course, President Trump and what he's going to say at his speeches and rallies. Traders like it because you never know what Trump is going to say unless, of course, you're the teleprompter guy. And that's kind of the problem here. It creates a real vulnerability for insider activity. So as you mentioned, Kalshi, the prediction site, flagged this and referred it to the CFTC, which is the federal regulator that oversees these markets. Now, the White House condemned this, but stressed that the staffer, Gabriel Perez, is cooperating. Listen to what Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, had to say about it yesterday.
I'm aware of the report. The president is too. I spoke with him about it. He believes it's deeply unfortunate and frankly a disgrace. And the individual that was cited in that report is complying with the CFTC. This individual will no longer be here. He'll be on paid administrative leave. I'm sorry, without pay. The administrative leave is unpaid, to be very clear.
Okay, so he is on unpaid administrative leave while this investigation continues. And to be clear, this is the CFTC. It's the civil regulator. There's no indication of a criminal investigation at this point for these allegations. And for full disclosure, Wolf, CNN has a partnership with Kalshi. We use its data to cover major events, but editorial employees like you and me are not allowed to use prediction markets.
The president's social media company today said it will be selling quicker access to posts, including the president's, to Wall Street. All the better and faster to turn whatever he says online into money. Truth Social says companies will be able to read items from the service's top 10 accounts, quote, within milliseconds of the poster hitting send, and then trade on them. The president, as you know, has nearly 13 million followers. That announcement coming the same day as a CNN exclusive, which found Trump praised more than 20 companies on his Truth Social account just days after he bought stock in those companies. Companies including the major chip maker, NVIDIA, Boeing, and Apple. Here's CNN's Tom Foreman.
My jeans are blue.
3 social media posts by President Trump about a clothing company. Sydney Sweeney, a registered Republican, has the hottest ad out there. About a computer chip giant building new AI assets. All necessary permits will be expedited and quickly delivered. And about a plane with components from several large defense contractors. The greatest and most beautiful fighter jet ever made. Pure boosterism? Maybe. But revelations from a new CNN investigation have watchdog groups alarmed because each of those positive posts came just days after some of Trump's own money was invested in those firms, raising eyebrows over his role regulating American business.
Is he negotiating on what's best for the American people, or is he negotiating what's best for him and his family?
CNN found the president promoted more than 20 companies through Truth Social posts soon after he became invested in them. He got stock in GE Aerospace, Eli Lilly, and Apple, and shared good words for them. He's racked up numerous investments in Tesla, some just days before he appeared with CEO Elon Musk admiring the electric cars at the White House. Does any of this prove the billionaire president is promoting his own investments, or that any of these businesses did anything wrong? No, but worry over possible conflicts of interest remains.
Nobody really knows exactly why President Trump's stock holdings have tripled or quadrupled in the last year. But there are inferences that you can draw that are not very pretty.
The White House says there are no conflicts of interest. The Trump Organization says neither President Trump, his family, nor the Trump Organization plays any role in selecting, directing, or approving specific investments, which are handled by outside firms which give no advance notice of trading activity. So it's not clear whether Trump was aware of any of his purchases when he was posting about the companies. But every other president for 50 years has sold assets, put stocks into blind trust, switched to widely diversified mutual funds where they can't know what investments they hold. It's not the law, but it has been the norm.
We expected a president to go to great lengths to try to avoid even the appearance of any kind of impropriety or any conflicts of interest.
To be clear, more than 21,000 transactions were made in Trump's name in 2025 alone. He did not remark on all of them. He's always held big stakes in business, and sometimes he posts negative comments. He invested in the cable company Comcast, then ripped its news channels, calling it Concast. Still, for however much that might muddy the water, critics say this remains clear. The president appears to be straddling a very thin line between his politics and his pocket. John?
Tom Foreman, thank you very much. Joining me now to discuss, the former federal prosecutor, Jeffrey Toobin. Jeff, you heard the reporting there as he went through it. Ethical questions, legal questions, what do we raise here?
Well, there's certainly ethical questions. Legal questions, I don't think so. I mean, you know, as the CNN report pointed out, every other recent president has had his assets in a blind trust where there is really no way the president can know what he's invested in. Trump has not done that, and you know, this is why his family and his own assets have exploded in the past couple of years, largely because of his investments in the crypto business, which his administration is very actively promoting. In terms of the stock, again, it's not clear exactly how the process works. The administration says he doesn't know when the investments are made, but he knows now. And he knows whether his words can help the companies he's invested in. This is why other presidents have operated differently. But you know, President Trump has operated outside scrutiny, and there hasn't been any so far, at least from Congress.
Operated differently because that was the norm, because that was the advice they get from White House counsel or ethics advisors, but there's no law requiring the president to do that, to put assets in a blind trust. Why not?
Because there is a separation of powers issue of how much Congress can tell the president what to do in terms of his personal conduct. But most presidents want to be seen as above suspicion. I mean, it has not been controversial in the past. All those recent presidents of both political parties have put their money in blind trust because they want to be seen as ethically clean. Trump has very clearly said, my family is going to continue my business. And particularly in the second term, they've been actively investing in companies that the government has a great deal of interest in. I should add that as far as I can tell, there is no legal question here in terms of criminal law. There is no insider trading evidence that I can see. You know, that would take the president intentionally puffing up a stock that he knows is going to go up. And as suspicious as this evidence is, nothing I've seen suggests that the president has committed a crime.